Thank you, members. Happy AAPI Heritage Month. I've been dreading this day for about 3 years now. I knew it would come one day. In the past 12 years in this body, we've fought against attacks on the Latino community, the Black community, Muslim community, LGBTQ community, and I had told my community, one day it will be us. I just didn't think it would be this soon. And I told my community that they needed to speak up. They had to get active, they had to get loud, and I think they tried. They came to y'all and told you that this stuff didn't make a whole lot of sense. That if you're concerned about national security, what does somebody buying a first home have anything to do with it? If you're worried about national security, if somebody's buying a little noodle shop as their first business, what does that have to do with national security? If somebody wants to buy a half-acre farmland so they can have a little ranch, how does that hurt anyone? Because those are the same things that my family did when we came here. I wanted to show you the picture of my house, my first house, the house my mom and dad bought for $60,000. It was a junker then, it's still a junker now. But it was our house. It was a little house, but it was our house. And we got that before we became citizens. While we were in the process of becoming Americans, we built that home. If we had not been allowed to have that home, probably wouldn't be here today. And our people from our community came and told you that this targets refugees, targets people who are lawfully here, and it would cover stuff that is already being done at the national level. Every visa holder that comes into this country is vetted. They are run through the process. Visas are denied all the time. And they came and they told you how this would hurt them personally. There were many people who were scientists, who were researchers, who were students, who were people who were here to make our state better, who told you this would directly affect me, that this would take away their ability to settle in this state and make a home here and start their pathway to citizenship. And they told you that again and again and again. But I guess maybe that was the point of this bill. Maybe that's the point of all the legislation like this that's being passed around the country. It is a loud and clear message that Asians don't belong in this country. What hurts us the most is that this has been done before. Why my community is so angry is that this exact thing has been done before. Done for the same reasons, using the same rhetoric, passing the same laws, and against the exact same communities. Back when this was the first alien land law, because that's what they titled it, the Alien Land Law. Back when this was first passed, they didn't say it about Chinese, they said it about Japanese. They said, oh, everybody knows if you're Japanese, even a drop of blood, then you can only be loyal to the emperor. Everybody knew that, it's common sense. And they started saying that just like every community that has been under attack, stuff is made up and people are demonized and confusion or misunderstanding about things are blown out of proportion. And we start attributing characteristics that you believe about some people to the entire community. So that in World War II, while we rounded up about 10,000 German nationals and Italian nationals, we rounded up 120,000 Japanese Americans. And I say Japanese Americans because 2/3 of them were American-born citizens. It didn't matter then, and it won't matter now. Back then, General John DeWitt famously said, "A Jap's a Jap. It doesn't matter if he's a citizen or not. They're all suspect. They're all traitors and spies." And that is the way that our community is being viewed. People like my family who fled here to escape oppression, to escape starvation, to seek the American dream. You would take those families who want nothing to do with the home country and say, you're a spy for them. That's what this language says. That's what this legislation says. It says that every single person from one of these countries, just like Mr. Money said from the back, every single person is suspect no matter who they are. Every single person is a potential spy. Every single person is dangerous. There's a word for that. There's a word we use when we attribute to an entire population one characteristic, whether they actually have that characteristic or not. It's called racism. And some of you may be hearing people from my community using that word, because my community doesn't use that word very often. But they're using it now. Because now they see. Because in the past I told them that we should go support African Americans, support Latinos, support other communities who are under attack. And they say, well, we don't understand racism. We don't get what the big deal is. They get it now. This bill, by the way, Mr. Money, you were asking me earlier why I was upset. This bill has no due process either. Mr. Hefner says that it has due process, but when you blanketly say an entire group of people do not have the same rights as others simply because of where they're from, there is no due process. Okay? When you create an in rem jurisdiction for this bill that I know you guys haven't read in the bill, it allows the Attorney General to attack the property, not go after the person who bought the property, but the property itself. Property doesn't hire lawyers. And you created a process where the Attorney General can just simply state that we believe that they are working with the government. In this bill, there is no standard of proof. Normally, in most civil actions, there is something that says what is the standard of proof for this case. There's nothing in here. There's nothing that says how much you have to prove it up, how reliable the evidence has to be, nothing. It's just, as Mr. Hefner said, the word of the Attorney General. The Attorney General in this case has extremely, extremely broad discretion. The fear isn't just about this legislation. For me, the fear is about the community as a whole. Notice I don't say Chinese American. I say Asian American because this will affect us all. The Taiwanese people who are up here that you eagerly clap for, their community will be under attack by this bill too. Because every time one of these bills passes, it says to the community, these people are a problem. These people are dangerous. You should watch out for these people. But the thing is, nobody around here knows the difference between Chinese and Taiwanese or Japanese and Vietnamese. When the attacks come, when the hate crimes start, it will be against all Asian, everybody with Asian face. Because we've seen it during COVID, when people are shouting anti-Chinese things, but they're beating up an old Vietnamese lady. They sucker punch the Korean man.
The gentleman's time has expired.
I urge you to vote no against and vote against racism and discrimination.